Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, a part of Remnant of Israel. I'd like to share a few thoughts with you pertaining to Sukkot that we are getting ready to enter the days of. In the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, chapter number 23, it says in verse number 34, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of this 7th new moon is the festival of Sukkot," Sukkot meaning booths, "for 7 days to Yahweh. The first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. For 7 days you bring an offering made by fire to Yahweh. On the 8th day there shall be a set-apart gathering for you, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahweh. It is a closing festival. Again, you do no servile work." And then when it comes down to verse 40, it says, "You shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of good trees, branches of palm trees, twigs of leafy trees, willows of the stream, and shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim for 7 days. You shall celebrate it as a festival to Yahweh for 7 days in the year, a law forever." Forever is a very long time, including now, in your generations. Celebrate it in the 7th new moon. It says in verse 42, "Dwell in booths for 7 days. All who are native born in Israel dwell in booths, so that your generations know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahweh your Elohim." Why are we doing this? I have heard people respond, and when we talk about going to Sukkot, had a dear family member say, "I just don't understand why you think you have to go and live in a tent for 7 days." It's not have to, it's get to. And I know that there are a variety of ways of observing Sukkot. Some want to go live in a tent, and we've done that, and bought new tents and bigger tents and platforms for our air mattress and little buddy heaters so that we could stay warm when it got cold, and there had been a few of those. We've learned to put up a tent correctly and incorrectly on occasion. We graduated to some varying forms of campers, and the last several years, we have found ourselves here at home and having a more temporary structure outside, which is acceptable as well. There's a lot of different ways to do this. We've had the joy of small, intimate Sukkots, just a few, and we've joined with hundreds and hundreds of others in various forms, and sometimes a little less than 100, but traveled and stayed home and done all varieties of Sukkot. The idea is, number one, that we remember. Sukkot is at least threefold. I'd like to share 3 thoughts here with you. Number one, it is to remember. Yah says, so that your generations know or remember or realize that their predecessors, their ancestors, they dwelt in temporary life structures while en route to the place of promise. We tend to forget that when Israel lived in the wilderness, in that journey, for 40 years they lived in a tent. Now that had to get old. And living that nomadic lifestyle, never having a place to call permanent, never having a place to put down long-term roots. You never knew when the trumpets were going to sound, signaling it's time to pack up and get moving. The cloud is on the move. And so they journeyed. Some say they just wandered around aimlessly. No, they went from place to place by the leading of the cloud. But when they moved into the land, finally, after taking the land, they could pack away the tent and live in permanent structures. This teaches us that while we are short of the kingdom, until we get to the kingdom, Even though we have our homes and we live and put down roots generationally in a location, we must remember this is temporary. We are in effect, very strong effect, living in exile as we're still outside the land of Israel and its long and expanded borders that will be in the kingdom. Until we get there, this is temporary. We invest so much in the continuing of the temporary when Yah is asking us to be more focused on the permanent, that which is yet to come. Yeshua said it very plainly, don't lay up for yourselves treasures here. They're going to corrupt. They're going to decay. They're under the threat of theft. But lay up for yourselves treasures where they're going to last. Now, the idea then is we are faithful with what we have been put in our hands, but it is but practice. Whatever we engage in here in this current life, it is but practice, preparing us for the permanence of the kingdom. And then secondly, it is about a harvest celebration. We rejoice. It's 7 days of celebrating with food, with drink, with fellowship, with dancing, with singing, with fun activities, being together, thinking on the blessing and the favor of Yah. It says here, we don't have an altar to bring these offerings to, but we bring an offering. That is, that we give of that which Yah has increased us with. And it's a problem at times. The right way to do this, and it's rarely practiced, is all through the year you set aside weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, somehow systematically setting aside funds so that when the 7th month comes around, that you have the money that you need to buy what you need, food-wise, drink-wise, supply-wise, to rejoice that you are not lacking because you're not working those days, but rather that you are in, and let's just be honest, it's a party week. It's a week to have fun, rejoice, and celebrate. And Yah is with us. Yah likes a party. It's given us 6 feast days of partying and rejoicing and remembering and being focused. Yom Kippur, a day of fasting, yes, but even then, it is a time to rejoice in the redemption of our Most High for His people Israel. And then we come down to community. Community. Anyone who has experienced Sukkot at all, probably within 2 or 3 times of experiencing it, you can realize that living together or being close together with people that you normally only see on a weekly basis, sometimes even more rarely than that, living together in close proximity, you can get easily on each other's nerves. And little squabbles break out and tempers can flare. And Yah reveals community is not perfect because there's people in it. And we are people. And we have to learn that it's common space. It's not our own home, and it's not the way we do things all together. It is the community working, living together, sharing, giving, making space for each other, and promoting each other. May your Sukkot experience be delightful and encouraging. Now, to end this today, 2 things. One, I'm going to take some days off. I'm going to spend Sukkot with my family, with our congregation, with some friends. We will be back with 10-Minute Torah on October the 15th. That's on Wednesday after the conclusion of Sukkot. And finally, this is coming to the close of the 6th year of doing 10-Minute Torah. We plan on continuing for at least one more year. And thank you to all of you who watch, who support, who pray, who comment. Chag Sameach. We'll see you shortly on the 15th. Until then, shalom.